Hello, everyone. We are back. It is season 2.
Yes,
Guys, I'm so excited. And guess who I got next to me? Y'all don't recognize him because he's new. He's new. But why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, man?
What's up, guys? It is Josh, and I'm here today with my brother Noah, and I'm so excited to be a part of season 2 of MPower.
Man, you know you can grab the mic too if you want to. Man, this is so awesome, guys. I've actually been looking for a co-host for a while, and like this man is just amazing. We just have a great vibe when we just talk, so it's gonna be a great episode, I believe.
Absolutely, man.
And obviously, if you're watching this, you're just like, wait a minute, we got a YouTube now. We got a YouTube. That's a thing now. So if you haven't already, subscribe to us. Make sure you like this video. Turn on that bell. It's really weird. I never thought I'd be saying that before.
Yeah.
Never imagined that would be happening. But hey, I'm a YouTuber now. We're YouTubers now. So, well, you already been doing this for a little bit, actually. But we have an empowered channel now. So it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited for the future of this channel. We're going to try to make it as best as we can for y'all's entertainment and, just for y'all's enjoyment. So, yeah, excited to be back. Excited to be with you now. We're going to be chopping it up, talking about some great things. These first 3 episodes especially, man, we're going to get into it. Obviously, this is kind of our setup for now. That might be subject to change, in the future. Maybe we get our own studio. God willing. Y'all be praying for us because we want to make this as professional and just as best as it possibly can for you guys. So, yeah, we missed y'all, especially. Hope y'all missed us. Without further ado, let's get into the meat of this episode.
Let's go, bro.
It's been a minute and a lot has happened. A lot has happened in the world. Honestly, I can't even remember. Oh, yeah, I remember I ended off season 1 talking about time, which is kind of funny given how much time has passed since then, and how we should make the most of it. Today, I want to start off this season and just, really just this episode by talking about social issues. But specifically, we're going to go into this being the first of the 3 Ps. And if you guys remember, I know it's been a minute, but hopefully you've been like replaying these episodes. But what's our first P? I'm gonna give you a second. You can't even respond to me. It's okay. Our first P is that we are not political at Empower. Like that's just not what we do. This is not a political podcast. We're not here to endorse candidates or really talk about we'll talk about policies every now and then, maybe if it affects a social issue. But what matters to us more than just 2 babies going at each other, whatever. We care about people. We care about people's hearts in their lives, their living situations, and how that affects the rest of the world. So there's a fine line with politics, and that's how we're gonna explain that today. We're gonna explain what we mean by we're not political, because you're gonna be like, well, no, I've heard you talk about some of these different things before. It's like that's not political though. Those are social issues that just so happen to be affected by politics. So yeah, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts about this. This is going to be amazing. So I guess the first thing that I kind of want to run by you is that me as a Black man, it feels hard sometimes because I try to speak my mind about certain things. I try to, speak up about injustices that we see going on a day-to-day basis. And I had actually just gotten off of, today's actually the first day that since I've gotten off this 40-day fast, where I've been off of social media and, just haven't been watching TV. So don't watch the news. I already didn't watch the news anyway, because it's pretty negative.
Yeah, same.
But sometimes you got to keep up what's going on, So I've been pretty much unplugged from the outside world. I didn't even know what went on in Haiti. I heard from another person what was going on in Afghanistan. It's just shocking me. I'm just like, wow, this is what's going on. All because you unplugged for a couple of weeks. It's crazy how much you can miss. And that really says a lot about the state of the world that we're in today. But that's another episode.
Yeah.
But back to my point. See, I always get off on these tangents. But so yeah, it feels hard as a Black man to really just be able to talk about some of these issues because I'll have people come at me a lot of the times, and there's always going to be haters, but people will just say I like do better when you didn't talk about politics, when in reality, me talking about my safety in this country, or me talking about how someone else's living situation in this country should be, or even in another country like Afghanistan, like that's not a political issue.
Mm-hmm.
It can be affected by politics, but in reality, it's a morality thing. It's a social thing.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I kind of want to get your insight, like, how do we, especially as Christians, how do we go about talking about these things? How do we handle the hate that may come up against us? Or even if you just want to explain, like, what is the difference, in your opinion, between politics and social issues? Like, let's just get some of your insight on that.
Yeah, so I'll take that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. I think the main problem that I see a lot of times in our society is that we're very sensitive in terms of we're very sensitive, and in terms of what offends us. We're easily offended. We don't want to talk about different issues that matter because it doesn't make us feel good sometimes. But not everything in life is going to feel good, especially when it comes to being in a world, not only as a person, but, especially in our cases as Christians. It's hard. You have to face things that you don't want to face. And I think the problem is that I feel like a lot of people understand what the difference is between politics and social issues. Politics are things that are put in place, mainly in government, that affect the way that this country is run. Social issues, and just in my opinion, are things that happen. You know what I'm saying? Things that affect our day-to-day lives that doesn't have anything to do with politics. But politics, like you said earlier, you said it perfectly, it affects those social issues. But I just think that we need to be more open to not only just listen about and have conversations about these hard topics, but to also be open to other people's opinions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, even though, being both Christians, we could have different opinions on things, but that does not mean that a friendship or a brothership should have to end because of that. And a lot of people, they take these social issues and they stamp politics on it because it's like, you know what, I don't want to talk about this social issue. It's too much. Let me just put politics on it, because we're also in a society where speaking about politics is not favored, where it's like, because me, I'm a film student. So a lot of times when I'm on set, one of the big rules on set is no talking about sex, no talking about religion, and no politics. And
it's a big three.
It's a big, three things. Those are pretty big rules. But the main reason is because those things cause a lot of conflict. But I feel like some of those things need to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? It's not a problem to have a social conversation, about social issues, or even something that stems into the political arena, just because how are we ever going to fix anything if we never talk about it?
Exactly.
One thing that I see about politics, because I wouldn't, me personally, I'm not really a political person, but I try to stay educated of what, just, like you were saying earlier, what's going on in the world. But one thing that I'm seeing is that on both sides, there's good points on both sides.
Right.
And a lot of it makes sense. And if just you have one side come together with the other side and they just talk it through, that's when a solution can come into place. But we stay stuck at, no, this is my side, and no, this is my other side. You know what I'm saying?
Can I address a few things? Because you said a lot of great points with that. For starters, it's insane to me how we have to look at it as a two-side thing. There's two sides of this coin. When politics, is so much more complicated than that. Yet we, specifically in our country of the United States, have simplified it to a red pill and a blue pill. And that's so ignorant when you think about that. You think that there are only two answers to my life, to the lives of countless other people. There's only you can have it one way or the other. There's no middle ground that we can meet at all. That's insane to me. But again, like you said, how are we going to be able to solve that unless we just talk about it? And so here at MPower, the reason why I made that one of the 3 Ps is because we're not ready for that conversation. That's the biggest thing. As far as politics, we have to be able to at least come together on humanity first, because there's so much arguing, there's so much controversy that can go on with a candidate or whatever. But how are we going to be able to handle those conversations if we first can't even tackle human rights issues? Like me being able to say, hey, you deserve to live in a manner that is, keeping you healthy and, keeping you safe on a day-to-day basis. If we can't even come together and talk about those types of issues, then we're never going to be able to reach the level of conversations that deal with endorsing specific people on how our country should be run. And it's crazy because we like to jump so far ahead of us. And we even do the same thing in like government, in office. Because you see so many people talk about, oh, I want this person to be president. Every 4 years you have like these sorts of conversations, these ongoing big debates in social media. Where's that energy for your local government, your mayor, your can you even name the mayor? Tell me the name of our mayor in Orlando. Do you know the name of our mayor?
No, me personally, I don't.
Me neither.
Me personally.
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought you was quizzing me for a second. I was like, hold up.
No, the thing is, I was like, the thing is, I don't know either. Yeah. Like, and part of that, I guess, is like I just moved here. I don't know how long you've been here, but
same.
Yeah, but still, I don't even know the mayor from where I'm originally from. Like we don't even know who's running really closer to our day-to-day lives, like the policies of where you can be at, where money is going in your city. We don't even know what's going on here. Yeah, we love to jump the gun and already talk about who's going to be running the whole country. It's like, how do we expect to truly be able to come together and have good conversations about that big of a deal when we're just completely ignoring the basics at a local level?
Yeah, I think it's also mainly because there's not a lot of attention. You don't get a lot of attention for talking about your local governor. You can't really start a conversation because again, I can't really use this example very well because I don't know governor of Florida. But you don't get a lot of attention when you say, oh, so let's talk about what's going on locally, like who cares? Nationally, Trump, Biden, all of these other things. You know what I'm saying? Because but like as a people, unfortunately, we're attention seekers. I feel like in a way we like controversy.
Wow.
Because it brings on the attention of just attention. You know what I'm saying? But it's all from a selfish perspective because it's like you want to be seen. You want to get your voice out, but you're not willing to listen to anybody else. I remember a long time ago, because again, I'm the same way. I don't really watch news, but I saw this one video on YouTube. And it was a very, very touchy subject about abortion. And in this topic, I think it was one interviewer and two people that were on two opposite sides, pro-life and pro-choice. And I'm not going to get into, the meat of the conversation, but the point is that the interviewer was, at first he started off like, listen, hey, first, it doesn't matter which side you're on. We're going to talk about this and we're just going to have a human debate. The first person was like, yes, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-choice. And the other person disagreed, was like, I'm pro-life. And it started out respectful, but the pro-choice person started to really bicker on the pro-life person, and the interviewer just switched sides and just started taking sides. And then instead of having a realistic conversation, they just start bickering on each other. And it's just like, because the point of me bringing that up was that like the interviewer said he's for both sides, that he wants to have an educated conversation. But when something was said that disagreed with his viewpoint, then he went off.
So with that being said, could I go ahead and make the statement that potentially could the thing that's keeping you from having a productive conversation isn't your mindset, but your heart posture? Like, because you just said they came in with the mindset of, we want to have a productive conversation, right? But what was their heart like? Their heart was saying, in reality, I still do have this agenda and I'm not ready to let go of something. I'm not ready to be educated. And I'm not ready to be loving towards people who ultimately disagree with me and who might continue to disagree with me after the conversation. They weren't ready for that. Their heart truly wasn't aligned with whatever their mindset is. A lot of the times, man, like we can think like, like I'm going to believe this way. But in reality, like we don't actually want to do it that way. It's like if we were to follow Christ and say, hey, like, you know what? Like, I'm just not going to be doing these things anymore. Like, I'm just going to be done with it. When in reality, our heart still wants those things. Our heart still wants to go back to that substance. Our heart still wants to go back to that website.
Wow.
And that's a big deal. That's such a conflicting thing. And then what we have there is an internal war. Mm-hmm. That we have an internal conflict that we have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and that makes things with conversing with others even harder, because then you're already stuck on fighting within yourself. You're going to have no other prompt than to fight with others. You know, if you don't have peace within yourselves, how are you going to have peace with a whole nother human being? Like, but did you want to like add something on that?
Yeah. I mean, that was really good the way you just said it. I'm sorry, like, just real quick, I have to say something based off of what you just said. That heart problem, that internal war, like, I think part of the reason of acknowledging to get past this barrier of conversing with someone of a different political stance or a different opinion is to admit that it's hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's to admit
absolutely.
that it's hard. Like for us, you know, we're sitting here and we're talking about, yeah, you gotta do this and just be open-minded. But sometimes that's not always easy. You know, sometimes it's not easy to talk with someone. And for instance, if you're a Christian and you're talking to an unbeliever, sometimes it's hard to talk to an unbeliever and talk to that person about different issues when they, you know, clearly disagree with what you believe in, or vice versa, an unbeliever talking to a Christian and they clearly disagree with what, you know, they believe in and stuff like that. But it's just a matter of, part of dealing with an issue is to admit that it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a little bit, like me personally, you know, growing up in the church, I wasn't close to God until these past 2 years. But growing up, I struggled with a pornography addiction. And it just got worse and worse as the years went on. But the main problem that God was telling me is that you are sweeping this under the carpet. And I was like, what do you mean? I mean, I'm obviously struggling with it. He's like, no, you're not admitting how hard it is. Sometimes you have to admit, this is hard. This is a problem. I need to fix this. And, you know, we can't do anything without Christ, but the point is, I don't want to get too far off topic, but the point is that, like, you have to be able to admit that it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're at the gym and you're like bench pressing, let's say like 300, you know, before, you can probably do that. You can probably, but like, if you're bench pressing 300, before you can have two attitudes. If it's really heavy for you, you can get under that bench and be like, you know what? This is going to be a challenge. I need to prepare for this. And you, with that mental preparation, that confidence, you lift, you might be able to do it. But if you go under like, man, this is nothing, it's lightweight, I can do this. Confidence, but you're not considering just how big of an obstacle it is. Like, when it comes to having these political conversations and having these debates, you have to acknowledge that it is hard. It is a stepping stone. And by doing that, that's the first step in acknowledging that you can get past that.
For sure. And I'm so glad that you said that, because I'm a firm believer that there's power in acknowledgement. There's so much power in acknowledgement. And that's going to help us when we begin to talk about these social issues. And then eventually down the line, when we're ready to talk about these political issues as well. Because, you know, it's like we were just talking about, sometimes it feels hard to address when we're talking to people. It's hard to put Christ first and then also acknowledge the way that he created us. Because that's the biggest thing that you don't want to do, is whether you're already having like a political conversation or you're just talking about injustices, social issues, it's like us as Christians, and you know, this may not apply to, you know, people who don't follow Christ, and that's fine. But for us, at least as Christians, and African American Christians at that, look at us, you know, you know, it feels hard sometimes to be able to put our faith first and make sure that we're responding in a Christ-like manner without forgetting the way that he created us. God created me as a black man. God created you as a black man. That wasn't a mistake. That was intentional. We were meant to experience certain things that would better shape and develop our character, and us be able to better minister to other people. So like, that's not just like that detail doesn't really matter. Like, no, like that should, you know, like that should affect us in some sort of way. If you are a white man, white woman, Hispanic female, whatever it is, like that stuff, like your experiences as that certain person in this life, it helps develop you into the person that you're supposed to be, so that way you can relate to certain people and you can differ from certain people and be able to kind of bridge gaps. You give a different perspective, because we were all made in his image.
Amen. Yeah.
Whether you're white, black, whatever it is, we were all made in his image. And one way I like to look at it, and I might have said this before, is that we're just different perspectives of God. So if you're one race that's different from us, you need to use that. You need to use your different perspectives, your different experiences in this country and in this world in general, and be able to take that and to not only be able to connect with people who've also experienced similar things, but you need to begin to bridge that gap with people who haven't experienced the same things as you. So that way they can begin to understand you as a person. And then maybe even if that person doesn't know God, maybe by them being able to understand you as a person, they can eventually get to understand our God.
Amen.
And did you?
Yeah. That's so good, man. Such good stuff. So, I definitely want to touch on that. In our little planning thing here, you said it's not. I don't see race. In a way, it sounds good, but it's not quite right. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, the race thing. First, we're all people. We're all made in his image and likeness. We're all the same. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. Now, we all struggle with different sins and everything, but we're all made in his image and likeness. You know what I'm saying? We all bleed red. You know what I'm saying? Like, my blood is not blue. His blood is not.
I think mine might be green.
I don't know. You never know. We're all people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all people, but as people, we're not all the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, even as African-American men, even as African-American Christian men, there are things that you have experienced that I have never experienced that I can't relate to, and vice versa. We're still different. You know what I'm saying? And but that does not make me better than you or you better than me. It makes us in his image and likeness. And the same exact thing goes with race, but you have to acknowledge it. I'm black, this person's white or Hispanic or Asian or, whatever your ethnicity and nationality is, we're all the same, but at the same time, it's different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a black man, my struggle might be different than a white man. You know what I'm saying? And his struggle might be different. So there's things that we can't relate to and things that we can relate to just based off of our race. You know what I'm saying? But the problem comes when we, of different races, we talk to each other, oh, you don't understand what the struggle is. No, don't say that, because his struggle may not be the same as yours, but it's still a struggle. And it's still something that you can talk about.
Exactly.
Just like you don't judge someone. Some people do, but for the most part, you don't judge someone because they have a different background than you or they haven't had the same experiences. It's just like, no, we're different people. So I think the Christ-like way to look at it is that we're all the same, but at the same time, we are the way we are for a reason. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And God created us a certain way with a certain race for a reason. And it's our job to find, what his purpose is for us and how we can use that to inspire and to help others. Now, the imbalance comes when we say either, doesn't matter at all. Race is not a factor at all. That's imbalance. And it's also imbalance when in the way we use race as our God. You know what I'm saying? Like, we take race as as a black man, if I take my race and I put those issues above God and above this and above life, then that's when it becomes an issue. So again, there's no red, blue. It's a balance.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing. Another big thing that we want to highlight here is there is evil in imbalance. Like, that is something that we just have to make sure that we get right. Like, and that's why low key, Thanos was right. But if you already know, we're huge nerds over here or whatever. But in Avengers Infinity War, bro, perfectly balanced as all things should be. The way that he went about it, that was the extreme part.
Yeah.
But he was aiming in the right direction. He acknowledged that there's our first A word. He had to acknowledge that there was an issue. And then he was like, okay, how do I balance this issue out? Mm-hmm. And then he took it off the extreme realm, and then the Avengers had to balance him out and make sure everything was saved.
Watch the movies if you haven't seen
watch the movies. I might have just spoiled a few things, but it's okay. Yeah. You should have watched it already by now anyway. But I mean, that's just what it is. And so oftentimes we can come in with the right intentions. We can come in with a balanced intention, but how you execute that plan or that conversation or whatever, sometimes it ends up getting a little too extreme and you get ahead of yourself. And so it's like, how do we keep ourselves from doing that? How do we keep ourselves in check when we're talking about these social issues? How do we keep ourselves in check when we're talking about injustice and we keep that conversation about that instead of going into a political conversation? Because again, there is a difference, but it's so easy. You mentioned that my Black Life Matters, and then all of a sudden, oh, you're a Biden supporter. Oh my gosh, you're a liberal, you're a left.
Yeah.
Whoa, how did we get here?
Yeah.
I was just saying my life mattered. Hold on, wait a minute. So it's like, how do we keep ourselves from getting to that extreme point and completely jumping the gun to where we go from talking about social issues to political issues? Because there's a time and place for both. It says in Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything. And I might overuse that verse a lot, but it's true though. It's true. It's in the Bible, so it's true. So it's like, how do we make sure we stay on task? That's the biggest question that, we want to kind of help answer for you guys.
I think it's to answer that question. First, that's a really, really good question. And I had to really think about that as you're talking.
I don't even know the answer.
I don't really know. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. I think it's also, it's not an easy solution. It's not an easy answer. The answer is having conversations. If you go to someone and, I'm going to use two extreme examples. And the race doesn't matter in this instance. It's just, this is the stereotypes that we see. A white Trump supporter and a black person that stands for Black Lives Matter. So those two people.
It's funny how those are the opposites.
They're complete opposites. Complete opposites. But I think I'm going somewhere with this. So like, basically these two people meet. And they automatically start stereotyping each other. This is going extreme. Oh, you support Trump, you racist, you this, you that, and oh, you're black, you're a liberal, or this, and you stand for that. Okay, that's extreme. Conversation is ended. It's probably going to end in a fight. Or the other way to do it is like, okay, you support Trump? Why? Let me talk to you about that. Let's have a conversation. Or, oh, you support Black Lives Matter? Let's talk about that. Let's dive into the issues. Why? You know what I'm saying? What made you do that? That is the answer. Having those conversations, that's what's going to keep us from jumping over the gun of stereotyping and stuff like that.
For sure. I think that's a great idea, actually. Just practice talking to people and start small. Don't get ahead of yourself. Like, just have simple conversations, even if it's not even about social issues. Talk about why your favorite food is pizza and the other person's food is like chicken. I don't know. Like, just, if you can't be trusted with the little things. I'm pretty sure Jesus said this, right?
He says it's scriptural.
Yeah. If you can't be trusted with the little things, you can't be trusted with the big things as well. So, like, you have to practice. You have to start small and just practice being able to disagree with people and, agree with people as well. And being able to be okay with that. Be okay if they disagree with you. You can be passionate, and we'll get into that in episode 3. But you still have to remain cordial and you have to remain respectful. And that is our biggest things, Christian or not. Like, you have to maintain yourself. You can't get ahead of yourself. And that's why we have to make sure, like, especially us as Christians, like, we have to stay within a Christ-like manner. We can't we cannot not acknowledge, our race and, like, the things that make us us. Like, I am a male, like, I am a black male. And, like, that's who I am. I'm a tall black male, like, Christ made me these ways. I'm not going to ignore those things. But it's like the Tony Evans quote. You can't have, like, those things be the adjective to you being a Christian.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Saying I'm a black Christian, I think he worded it this way. It's like the black is an adjective to the noun Christian, which therefore means that blackness is therefore changing the way I follow Christ, when in reality it should be the other way around. The fact that I follow Christ should be changing the way that I identify myself as a black male and the way that I carry myself out as a black male. And whatever it is, as a tall individual, like, or whatever it is, like, I could be, if Christian wasn't the adjective, I could be going around like, hey man, like, I'm a tall dude. I'm finna go grab all these shawties, you know what I'm saying? But because I'm a Christian, then that counteracts that. And it's like, hey, I'm going to be the adjective to that. So you're not going to do that. You're still going to be tall. That's not going to go away. But you're not going to go around and, like try to, be crazy, do all that weird junk and, like just try to get out a whole bunch of girls. Like that's not life. There's more to life than that. And really, I'm preaching to the choir for myself on that one. But you already know, man. This has been an amazing episode.
This has been great, bro.
I think this has been and we're already off to a good start. This is only episode 1, guys. This is crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I enjoyed this. I hope you did as well.
Absolutely, man. This was awesome. This was incredible.
Yeah, man. You're going to be seeing a lot more of us. This is what you got now. It's your boy, Noah. That's your boy, Chris. And oh my God. I did not just say Chris.
Hey, he makes fire music though if we're talking about the same Chris. Chris Sincere.
That was wow. I don't know why I was thinking about my dog Chris. He was in episode 3 of season 1.
Great episode, man.
Great episode. Check it out.
Yeah. Check it out.
But that is my man, Josh. Oh my gosh. That rhymes, Josh. Oh my gosh.
You're good, bro.
I'm like Chris Bosch.
Oh.
Hey. We finna mosh. Hey, no, I'm done.
He was going somewhere, bro. He was going somewhere.
It was gonna be real bad. Let's end the episode on a high note. But yeah, this has been amazing. We love you guys. This is just the beginning. So, stay tuned. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you're on, our YouTube, even on Spotify, whatever you are. Hit the like, all that stuff. We got amazing content coming to you guys, and it's gonna be dope. Also, quick reminder. Don't forget to check out our collaborator GP Clothes. I know that they actually have released a few new items in their shop, so check us out. If you choose to buy anything from the store, you can always use our code MPower. It'll get you, I believe, 15% off. I believe so. So, hey, check it out. Use our promo code because we like money. I mean, that's not a bad thing. We don't love money. We like it.
Yeah.
Don't
lie now. It's a sin to lie. So.
I don't mind a few cents. It is a sin to lie. I don't mind a few coins.
You know what I'm saying?
Use the promo code. Please use the promo code. We're broke. At least I'm not anyway.
You're speaking me too, bro.
But on that note, we love you guys and signing off till next time. See y'all.
Peace.
We hope you guys enjoyed that video, and we have a lot more content coming your way. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in every Saturday at 7 a.m. on whatever listening platform you may be listening to for a new episode of MPower. Catch you guys later. That works. That works.